Hello everyone, welcome to this free pattern for a mushroom turtle. I don't want to waste your time, so let's get straight into the materials. To make the mushroom turtle, you will need a 5mm crochet hook, 2 stitch markers, a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, stuffing, and Premier Parfait yarn in cream, toffee, and cardinal. To start, we make a magic ring. Into the magic ring, we will place 6 single crochets. Tighten the ring and place your stitch marker into the last stitch. For round 2, do 6 increases. When you are done, you should have 12 stitches. For round 3, we will place 1 single crochet, then 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. So you do single crochet, then an increase all the way around. When you're done with the round, you will have 18 stitches. Round 4, we will place 2 single crochets, then an increase. The pattern continues around the piece, and when you're done, you have 24 stitches. Now, if you have crocheted my pumpkin turtle, the basis of the turtle is still the same, so you can skip to the end where I show you how to create the spots for the turtle. For round 5, we place 3 single crochets, then an increase. When you're done, you will have 30 stitches. Round 6, we place 4 single crochets, then an increase. When you're done, you'll have 36 stitches. Round 7 is a little different. You are going to fold your work in half, sort of like a taco or an empanada, and you will crochet through both sides of the work. I do like to take my starting tail and tuck it into the center. That way you don't have to sew anything. And take your crochet hook and go through the first set of stitches, then the second set, and make a decrease. So yarn over and pull through a loop, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and pull through all 3 loops. You will make 8 decreases and 1 single crochet at the very end. And here is where you place your single crochet. Now pull a long tail about 6 to 8 inches to sew into the body. Your first front flipper is done. You need to make a second, same exact way. However, this time when you pull your tail, you need to make it at least 12 to 15 inches because you have to sew it through the body of the front flipper. So here it is. I've made my second one. I pull a long tail. As you can see, it's easily double the size of the first one. I cut, pull out the working yarn, find my yarn needle, thread the needle, and now I take that needle and I work from where I finished and I thread it all the way through to the other tip of the flipper. I gently pull. Don't pull too hard or else you'll destroy the shape of the flipper, but gently pull. And now your second front flipper is done. The back flippers are made the exact same way. However, you just repeat rounds 1 through 5 and then you fold them in half and crochet them. However, when you fold the smaller back flippers in half, you will only have 7 decreases. So repeat rounds 1 through 5 and then fold them in half. Place 7 decreases across the top, which is the front of your flipper. And for the first one, have a 6-inch tail, 6 to 8 inches. And for the second one, have a longer tail and sew that tail through the body of the flipper. As you can see on my pumpkin turtle, I'm showing you that the front of the flippers are the decreased crochet stitches, and they go in the front, and then the smaller ones go on to the back. We will now work on another piece of the turtle. Make a magic ring. Into the magic ring, you will place 4 single crochets. You are creating the tail of the turtle. Tighten the ring and place your stitch marker in the last stitch. For round 2, you will place 4 increases. When you're done with the round, you have 8 stitches. For For rounds 3 through 5, you place 1 single crochet in each round. You will have 8 stitches per row. And after your 4th row, I like to stop and flip the tail to where it's facing the proper direction, and I stuff the starting tail into the body of it. Then I continue with my last round of 8 single crochets. When you are finished, you will fasten off with a 6 to 8 inch tail, again for sewing. For the head, we start with a magic ring with 8 single crochets into the ring. For round 2, we place 8 increases, meaning 16 stitches when you are done with the round. For round 3, we will place 1 single crochet, then an increase. When the round is finished, you will have 24 stitches. Round 4 is a little different. First, you place 4 single crochets. After those 4, you place 2 single crochets, then an increase. You repeat the 2 single crochets and then an increase until you get to the last 2 stitches where you will place 2 single crochets. When you're done with the round, you should have 30 stitches. For round 5, we place 4 single crochets, then an increase. You repeat that same pattern all the way around the work, and when you're done, you have 36 stitches. For rounds 6 through 11, you will place single crochets in every round. Each round has 36 stitches, and you will have 6 rounds of single crochet. For round 12, place 4 single crochets, then a decrease. When you're done with the round, you will have 30 stitches. Round 13, place 3 single crochets, then a decrease. When you're done with the round, you will have 24 stitches. Round 14 is the last round of the head. You will place 2 single crochets, then a decrease. When you're done with the round, you will have 18 stitches. When you finish round 14, you need to fasten off with a long tail. I would say around 18 inches because you do have to use this tail to sew the head to the body. So you need quite a long tail to do this. So I use an 18-inch tail. I cut, remove the working yarn. Now I will add the safety eyes to the head. I'm using 12mm safety eyes with the safety backs. I will flatten my head using the finishing point so the tail will be directly on the center of the bottom of the head. I flatten it, and now I'll take an eye and go from the center ring at an angle up to about the 5th or 6th round and place the eye. And following the groove of that round, I will take the second one and try to align them up. This does take a little time and a little patience because you don't always get it right. But once you are satisfied, you will go ahead and place the safety backs. Place the safety backs, I will take my thumb and slightly open it, and I'll take my thumb and hold the eye in place. Gently push it till it's inside out, and I will apply the backing and get it as tight as I can. And then I'll repeat for the second one, using my thumb to keep the eye in place. Then I will set the head aside so that we can make the body of the turtle. To start, we use the cardinal red yarn. We will make a magic ring with 10 single crochets. Once the ring is complete, we will increase in every stitch, meaning 20 stitches when you are done. For round 3, we will place 1 single crochet, then an increase, and repeat that around the working piece. When you're done with the round, you will have 30 stitches. Round 4 is a little different. You will start by placing 6 single crochets. After those 6 single crochets, you will place 3 single crochets, then an increase. You will repeat the 3 single crochets and an increase around the rest of the work. And when you're done, you will have 36 stitches. For round 5, we place 5 single crochets, then an increase. When you're done with the round, you will have 42 stitches. For round 6, we place 6 single crochets and then an increase. When you're done with the round, you will have 48 stitches. For rounds 7 through 12, you will place 1 single crochet in each stitch with 48 stitches in each round. That is 6 rounds of 48 crochet stitches. When you finish round 12, stop and grab your second stitch marker. You need to mark the back loop of the very first stitch. Only the back loop. You will use this on round 14. For round 13, you will be working in the front loop only. Grab up your yarn again. Now, in the front loops only, work half double crochets in every stitch. When you're done with the round, you will have 48 half double crochets. Remember to only place these stitches in the front loop of each stitch. When you get to the very last half double crochet, you need to stop. Go get your body color, and with the shell color, start to form the stitch. But before you complete it, grab the body color and pull through, completing the stitch. You have also just changed to the body color of your turtle. Go ahead and cut the shell color, leaving a tail that you can crochet over. And now for round 14, working in the back loops only, right where that second stitch marker was at, single crochet in every back loop stitch. Remembering to crochet over the tails at the beginning. As you can see, I'm placing single crochets in the back loops only. I go ahead and remove my stitch marker, and I use it to tell myself where my very last stitch is for that round, because it is a little hard to find, especially once you finish crocheting. And then I continue working in my back loops only, single crochets. And because I had that stitch marker there, I can easily find my very last stitch, place my last single crochet, and then I go ahead and mark it again with my stitch marker. Round 15 is probably the hardest round of the whole turtle. I will put the pattern in the description below so that you can see it for a longer period of time. But working through both loops, we will start with 5 single crochets. Now we will chain 4. Skip the next 4 stitches. Crochet 8 single crochets. Chain 3, skip 3 stitches, single crochet 3, chain 2, skip 2 stitches, single crochet 3, then chain 3, skip 3 stitches, then 8 single crochets, chain 4, skip 4 stitches, and then place 5 single crochets. There should be 5 holes or gaps in this round. These are the spots where you will sew the pieces in that we made earlier. For round 16, you will place 6 single crochets, then a decrease. Yes, you will be crocheting into the actual chains that you just placed from the last round. Yes, you will have decreases in these chains. Do not work in the gap, but into the actual chain itself. As you can see, I'm placing my last single crochet and then a decrease, and it is in the chain from the previous round. Continue this around and you will have 42 stitches when you are done with the round. For round 17, place 5 single crochets, then a decrease. When you're done with the round, you will have 36 stitches. Now it is time to attach the tails and flippers. So I like to sort of set it out with the stitch marker facing me, and the tail goes at the top, in the middle. The 2 smaller flippers go on either side of the tail, and then the larger flippers go in the front. Takes patience to sew these in, but you sort of get a little bit of the tail into the hole. Now I take my yarn needle and I run through the actual flipper into the body. I just slowly work my way around until it's fully attached. I am not a person who can sew very well, so this does take me a little time, and I'm very cautious about how it looks. So I just go back and forth and look and observe how it's going. If I don't like it, I take it apart and do it again. Once it is sewn into place, I like to place a knot on the last area, and I put that tail to the side. I attach my second flipper, and then I tie them together using the tails. As you can see here, I've already attached the fronts. I'm going to take the tails, double knot them, maybe even triple or quadruple knot them. I do this with all of my tails, even the tail that's attached to the tail. I just toss them into the center and I continue. Round 18, we will place 4 single crochets and then a decrease. When you're done, you'll have 30 stitches. For round 19, we will place 3 single crochets, then a decrease. When you're done, you have 24 stitches. For round 20, we place 2 single crochets, then a decrease. When you are done, you have 18 stitches. Now it is time to pull up a loop, set your crochet hook to the side, and stuff the turtle. I pull up a loop so that my starting point will not get lost. Now stuff to your heart's content. When you're done stuffing, find that starting loop, and we will do round 21, where you will have 1 single crochet and then a decrease. When you're done, you will have 12 stitches. At this point, you need to determine if you need to add any more stuffing, because this is your last chance. And once you have placed any additional stuffing, we will continue the closing up of this turtle. Once you have added extra stuffing, we will go on to round 22. For round 22, we will place 6 decreases. When you're done, you should have 6 stitches left. At this point, I'm going to pull up a long tail, at least 10 to 12 inches. I will cut the tail, pull out the working yarn, find my yarn needle, thread the tail into the needle, and then I will take the needle and weaving through the front loops only, I will weave out and then weave in, back and forth till I get to the starting point again, and then I will gently cinch the turtle closed. Now if you overstuff, this will not work, so you have to be careful of how much stuffing is in your turtle. I just gently pull, and now I will tie a knot with the yarn, and then I will continue burying the yarn within the body of the turtle, going in all different directions so that it's harder for that yarn to come out later. I will even tie second and third knots. These are just stopping points in case that yarn starts to work out over time. Once I'm satisfied, I will cut the tail and make sure the shape is still the way I want it. Now I will make spots. Using the cream, I will make a magic ring and place 6 single crochets into the ring. Once the ring has those 6 single crochets, I will close it. Then I slip stitch to the very first one just to make it round. Then I will fasten off 6 to 8 inches, cut, pull out the working yarn, and then I will tie the 2 tails together. You don't have to do this. This is just something that I prefer. I double knot them, and then I make sure to cut the starting tail, not the finishing tail. It is ready to be sewn onto my turtle body. 7 spots in total. Here I will pin them. I'm using these 2-inch decorative pins just to hold them in place. You don't have to do this. You could glue them in place, but I'm going to pin and then sew them into the body of my turtle. Each tail will be buried within the actual body of the turtle, and I will sew all 7 in the same exact manner. You could make fewer spots or more spots. It all depends on how you want your turtle to look. Once the spots are in place, it is now time to put the head onto the turtle. For my pumpkin turtle, I placed the head below the shell. For this turtle, I wanted it even with the shell, so I placed it in a different manner. So I stuffed the head, and you can either use pins to hold the head in place before you sew, or I am using chopsticks and I'm going to push it through the head and into the body to hold it in place. I'm just trying to visualize how it will look, and I found that the chopsticks hold it really well. So I find the center of the head, and I put it where the shell overlaps a little bit. Then I take my chopstick and I just run it through the head and into the body. I will take my second one and do the same thing on the other side of the head, just to give it a little bit more stability. As you can see, the head is more even with the shell this time around. Once I'm satisfied with the head placement, I get the long tail from the head, I thread my needle, and I slowly start sewing the head to the body of the turtle. I do try not to sew through the spots that I placed earlier. So like for here, I'm sewing underneath the spot and holding it out of the way to make sure I don't actually go through it. Once the head is secure and sewn into place, I will knot underneath and then bury the tail within the body. Again, and then once I do that, I remove the chopsticks. See how I like it, because before I bury the tail, I do want to make sure I like the placement, or else I can take it off and start again. Once I determine that it's okay, I will start burying the tail. If the bottom seems a little lumpy, I will take those chopsticks and just gently fluff up the bottom of the turtle, just to get any divots out from all the different yarn tails going everywhere. Now, your turtle is done, but if you want to add a little extra to his face, I take the shell color and cut a pretty good length. Thread my yarn needle, and I add blush underneath the eyes. You could do this in pink or whatever color you feel like. I just chose to do the same color as the shell. And you just try to get it right where you want it. Sometimes it does take a couple of tries, so take your time. Because once you get the first eye, you have to replicate it onto the second eye. Once the blush is in place, I like to thread the yarn back through to where I first pulled it in, all the way back to the starting point. Then I tie a knot with both tails, making sure not to pull too hard because it will pull the yarn around the eyes. Tie a double knot, And then I bury the two tails within the head and the body. I cut the two tails. Then, using the back of my needle, I make sure that the red is not noticeable in the head from where I tied the knot, and I get all the fuzzies off as well. Once you have placed your blush and hidden all your tails, your turtle is finished.